Today we're talking about something really important, something that can knock the wind out of your sails even when everything seems fine outside. Have you ever just suddenly shut down or exploded emotionally and couldn't really explain why? You were fine yesterday, but today you're on the floor, overwhelmed, overstimulated, and just done with it. That, my friend, may be an autistic breakdown. And understanding your triggers is the first step to protect your peace and your independence. Hi, I'm the Independent Autistic, and on this channel we empower adult autistics to independence. So let's start with a big one, change. Anytime there's change in your life, there's that tendency to melt down. Change can be anything. It's not always dramatic. For me, if someone rearranges the furniture and I don't realize that it's been rearranged and it shocks me, that can trigger meltdown. It may be small to some people, but something out of place shifts my ways, shifts what I expected, and it just scrambles my internal map. Change at work is another big one. A new boss, a promotion, even something that's supposed to be good. If it breaks up the routine, it can cause real distress. I've had job changes that sent me into shutdown for weeks, just trying to recalibrate because it's different. Next, overstimulation or sensory triggers. There's that overstimulation. This is a sneaky one because it builds up slowly and then bam, a meltdown. Let's break it down. There's light, fluorescent lights, flickering screens, or unexpected brightness can all trigger. Texture, scratchy tags, stiff clothing, things that normal people wouldn't even worry about can be a trigger. Taste, food textures, combinations, flavors that just hit wrong can be a trigger. Temperature, if it's too hot or too cold or suddenly different, that can trigger a meltdown. Noise, loud places, a lot of sounds in the background, clouded rooms, all these things can trigger a meltdown. When all these things pile on, before you know it, your whole nervous system is screaming. And the worst part? Being misunderstood about it. People think you're being picky or dramatic, but this is real. The world is often just too much. Then there's social triggers. Let's talk about social anxiety in crowds. Even if I can do the social situation, that doesn't mean they don't cost me something. Every conversation, every interaction, it's like running an emotional marathon. And what happens when I can't express my needs? When I can't find the words or the timing to say I need a break? That pressure builds up. And it doesn't just disappear. It waits. And when the moment finally passes, then I crash. Then there's emotional triggers. This is a rather hidden trigger, emotional stimulation. I might be totally fine in the moment. I might smile, I might laugh, I might show up and perform, but the next day, I'm toast. I melt down after the fact because my system needs time to process, and that time finally arrived. Next, masking. Then there's masking burnout. Masking is when we hide our autistic traits to fit in. Smile when we're stressed, nod when we're lost, sit still when we want to stem. And it's exhausting. At some point the mask falls off. Not because we want it to, but because we've got nothing left. And that's when meltdowns happen. And if your routines are interrupted, like the routines that help you manage and navigate the world, it's like losing your grip. Everything starts to feel uncertain, and uncertainty is hard. Then there's frustration with unwritten rules. This is kind of a pet peeve of mine. Here's one that doesn't get talked about enough. Unwritten rules. The social shoulds and You should just know that no one explains, but everyone expects. When you get it wrong, you feel embarrassed, anxious, or even ashamed. And the frustration, the deep gut level frustration of trying to do all the right things in a system with invisible instructions. That will send me into a meltdown very quickly. If any of this sounds like you, you're not broken, you're not weak, you're autistic. And understanding your meltdown triggers is one of the most powerful tools you have for building an independent, empowered life. Are you a young adult autistic stuck at home and craving more independence? Then the Autistic Bridge to Independence is just what you've been looking for. It is a 5 ebook guide to your independence from an autistic to an autistic. Check the link below and get it today. Remember, you were born different to make a difference. Please offer the customary sacrifices to the algorithm god. Like, comment, subscribe, and share if this will help somebody else. This is the Independent Autistic. And remember, you're important.